Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You know, listen to the mind of that Terry's Moon, Flight boss, the Archangel Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibility. And this video right here is specifically for scientists. And because I'm unaware if you know this or not. So even if you are a scientist or a person that go to college that's into scientific things of that nature, and you watch my videos, like, please comment and genuinely tell me you guys' understandings and what conclusions are you coming to. Because what I'm about to break down right now is basically common sense, what it is. So I shouldn't have to sit down and break down what an atom is. You should know what an atom is, right? So an atom is basically what the Bible and everything else is trying to correlate to, calling it an atom, the ADAM. But it's really, and scientists is calling it atom. So atom, 2,000 years from then, that same energy is being replicated through scientists to be called an atom, ATOM. But it's just like, it's the same energy, just being, energy can't be destroyed, it can only be reproduced. So it's the same thing with everything. So it's the same thing with that, the same thing with language, everything. It's the same energy that's reproduced in its way and the conscious awareness of where humanity or life is at the moment. So you're not supposed to compare and conflate things. You're supposed to understand them, how they correlate. So once you understand that, when you look at an atom itself, an atom represents the first form of a body. The first form of some people want to call it man, as in man and woman, but really atom is the first form of a body. That's what atom is. It's the first vehicle, the first form. It's the first vehicle for your conscious awareness, your spirit, your frequency, for it to be a vibration. You see what I'm saying? The first idea, the first location of where you realize you witnessing the timeline of your line of events through an experience. That's what an atom is. That's what your spirit goes into. You know what I'm saying? That's what catches your spirit in the etheric realm. And we know your spirit is a shapeless, colorless, formless, shapeless, non-flammable gas. You see what I'm saying? And we know it vibrates on a frequency based upon your location within that realm in space. You know what I'm saying? Relative to the other space in that realm. So when you look at an atom is it turns into the first form of an individual physical piece of a shapeless, formless, non-flammable gas, which is your piece of a conscious. It becomes an individual once it becomes in an atom. So we know an atom is the first vehicle, it's the first body. So when you want to look at an atom, then you have to look at an element. Now the elements is the first worlds, first realms of realities. You see what I'm saying? See, elements are universes, and elements is made up out of a group of atoms. So if an element is a world with atoms in it, we know that's a world with bodies in it. But it's one and the same, because the group of atoms in that world make up the body. It's almost like the group of cells in you make up your body. The group of everything in you make up your body. So check this out. If you know that, right? When you look at an element like hydrogen, hydrogen is number 1 on the periodic table. Why? Because it's only controlled by one atom. So this is a motherfucking world with a motherfucker that live by itself in it. You see what I'm saying? So hydrogen is a whole universe with one motherfucker that live in it. And look, you want to say, what the fuck is you talking about? Look, we know you are made out of the shit that the physical vessel is made out of. The physical atom, the physical vessel is going to be made out of whatever world it's in. So if you in Earth, this is why you made out of the elements of Earth. You in that world. It's in a lower dimension, so it's more mixture of shit. So you're made out of carbon, this, nitrogen, hydrogen, boom, 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 boom. You see what I'm saying? So you are an atom in this world. So the atom, physical vessel, is made out of the shit of the world it's in. So let's take that out and go to the atom and the element. Let's look at helium. Helium is only made of 2 atoms. So this is a world with only 2 motherfuckers in it. You see what I'm saying? Or you can look at it like this. This is a world with only 1 sun in it. A sun rotating a black hole. A sun rotating only 1 big ass star. See what I'm saying? Helium. Two suns, two stars, just rotating 1 big ass star. Or you can look at it like that. This is how scientists try to draw it out. When scientists draw it out, why do it look like what it look like this, the universe? Them pictures from NASA and shit ain't real. So when you looking up there, they just mapping out the colors and the shapes, micro wise, of how they looking at how an atom and shit look. I'm telling you. So then you got to look at motherfucking molecules. Molecules is when bodies come together. So look, if you got, and all of these is like one and the same, but this is how you're going to be able to decipher and separate between a particle and a wave, because a wave and a particle is the same thing. It only becomes a particle when you look at one section out of that wave and single it out, individualize it out. But look, once it's a atom, right? Then the atom can only be made out of the world it's in, right? So that's when, if it's hydrogen or helium, the atoms that was made in it, the beings, the vessels, the bodies that was made in it, is what govern it. So the ruler of it. This is what the Bible talking about. They brought them in a tree of life, everything. But it's the ruler of that. You know what I'm saying? Then when bodies come together in a world, so that's just like an atom is in an element. Then once two type of atoms come together within that world, you see what I'm saying? Then it creates a motherfucking that's what a molecule. So this is like sex. And the creation that comes out of that, it becomes a compound. Now it's a compound, it's a wave. It's the creation out of that. Something new. You see what I'm saying? So this is the first forms of being engineered, being genetically modified. This is what brought in different races. This is what brought in different conscious awarenesses. This is what brought in, you see what I'm saying? So an atom is the first vessel. Element is the world it's in. Then when atoms come together in that world, you see what I'm saying? It becomes a molecule. That's like sex. Then once the creation, when them two come together, the creation out of that becomes a compound. Now, before you can even get to a molecule of compound, we have to decipher, okay, look, if we talking about hydrogen, if it's a world, it just got one body in it, how did that body reproduce? See, this is why I say the elements is universes. The same way how you look at fish and everything in the sea is in water. You look at all the humans being in air. You look at all the planets, they're in fucking helium or some shit, or hydrogen. It's a pool. You in something. You see what I'm saying? That's why the key word, they say what's in hydrogen. Atom. It's in a world, in a realm of reality. The spirit, the conscious, formless, shapeless, non-flammable gas of a motherfucking hydrogen oversoul or whatever like that went into a realm of reality. You see what I'm saying? Of hydrogen. It took the form and shape of, you see what I'm saying? It took the physicality of it. Now, what happens here is, this is how you know that everything and everybody is genetically modified. Because what happens here is, this is why scientists has to look at each element as a universe. Because when two universes clash, the creation out of it creates a galaxy. And a galaxy is a baby universe. And it creates a galaxy. So what happens here is you got this one being in the world of hydrogen, right? And boom, you got two beings that live in helium, right? And those worlds clashed or absorbed or became one in some type of way. This is, you can go back to my video, What is God? You got the one space that became a temperament, and anytime something becomes a temperament, it has to transform or move. That was the moment it went into another space. Then that's the duality. Then once it can take itself out of that space and see it in third person, see both perspectives. Once it moved from that space, it can see this space and see this space. It automatically takes it into third person simultaneously. So that's the 360, and that's when you get the spin, the spiral cycle. But you just have to understand it, how things actually is. So these are elements, are universes. Then when the universes clash, it made up other universes. So you think you're large, but you're very small. Scientists grasp that. You think you're large based upon what your relatives looking at, but you're very small. And what you're doing is you're planning out you're planning out yourself, what you're trying to figure out. Like the shit you're trying to figure out, as you being you, you're planning that out. All you have to do is know yourself better, and you will be able to find out what you're trying to figure out. You see what I'm saying? Scientists is going in and trying to create shit that they're already doing. So it's an add-on, and it's bringing it more down into density, and you have to do more shit in order to experience the elements. When the higher dimension you go, the less you have to do to utilize the elements at your will. So you have to understand that. So, scientists, I need you to understand this. Atoms is the first vehicle. Is the first vehicle for a spaceless, shapeless, formless, non-flammable gas, odorless gas. Right? An atom is the first vehicle for that. Then an atom makes up the world is in, or the world is in makes up the atom. So it's like simultaneously. So that becomes the element. The element is the world. It's the universe. The element is the universe. The atom is the being in that universe. So we know each universe got a certain amount of atoms. This is why no two elements has the same amount of atoms. Or I don't want to say that. No two elements has the same amount of is structured the same. So if these is bodies, if these is people or bodies, then you know it's different forms of bodies, different looks, different shapes of forms. So when they go on realms of realities, they take other different shapes and forms. When they come together, they create other different shapes and forms. This is how we got all the lower and higher realities, as far as water, as far as everything, fire, all the lower elements. That's got all the mixtures, and before you was even came as a mixture. You see what I'm saying? The more pure, the more pure being it is. So this is that, you know, you're not a pure being. So anything that's in any religion talking about a pure being, these are the things that they was talking about. But it's almost no such thing as a pure being almost. And we is in a universe that's really impure. Think about what our universe is made out of. Our universe is made out of a mixture of a gang of shit. So that lets you know our universe ain't even the first universe. I hate to say universe, but it's not even saying, shut that door. But this universe ain't even the first universe, because it's mixed with a bunch of other shit, other universes and shit. Because if the scientists figure out and know that the elements is universes, then they would know. See, look, they trying to find other universes, and it's right in front of their face. The elements is universes. Because we know when elements come together, they create what we see today. The large bodies of shit we see today. And if we know our universe is a large body, and it consists of a mixture of a bunch of elements, then what do that fucking tell you? So when you look at hydrogen, that's one of the first pure beings. And it got one of the first pure atoms in it. And to get anything else, that had to mix and mingle with other worlds, other bodies, other universes. Duh. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air. This is for my motherfucking scientists. Y'all steady trying to find the Big Bang and the universe, and the universes, y'all fucking with the universes every day. But y'all so naive because y'all only seeing a small portion of it, because you're only able to access a small portion of it, because due to the elements you're made out of, you only made out of a certain percent of it. So you only see. Let's even get into another whole nother video. If you're a real scientist, you'll be able to understand what I'm saying and build on the rest of it without me having to walk you through every mental mind step. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn.